Before I had sex, I was never much for... I actually wanted to wait till marriage at one point. I just used to think it was a real special thing. As soon as I actually did it and had sex, I kind of realised that it wasn't special. And also that I just really loved it and really enjoyed it, and that I wanted to do it way more often.
And do you think your partner one day will be someone from the industry most likely, or?
Yeah, I talk about this a lot with my parents because that's the one thing I guess they worry about is like, will you ever find a boyfriend?
Yeah.
But there's so many guys out in the world. I think, you know, one poor bastard's got to marry me. I rather think it's going to be someone from the industry or someone who is into lending me out.
Lending you out?
Yeah. Like into hot wife or being a...
The compromise you make for promiscuity is that you'll never get what you want, and you'll forever have to settle with whatever you get. And the further you go down this road, the less you see of what you want. I mean, the Mr. Right you've been looking for was in the block before. So building a family of your own becomes extremely difficult and almost impossible, especially to maintain a happy and good one. It's tough. But before we think ahead, let's look at her family now. Let's see what her parents think of this.
I've seen you say on podcasts and things before that your family and your parents are proud of you and what you've achieved.
Well, my parents knew straight from the start, like, about what I was doing. Yeah, I was just very open with it. Obviously, at the start, they were a bit apprehensive because they want me to be safe and they want me to make good decisions and stuff like that.
Have you, like, recognised any of the names in here of people that you might know?
Oh, yeah, definitely. There's been some guys like outwardly say, like, we used to go to school together.
Wow.
Or some of, like, dad's friends and stuff like that.
What, messaging you?
Yeah. I remember my dad saying, like, my friends talked about you, like, seeing you on mobile, something like that. And they know, but, like, there's just no point in being like, oh, you know, I'm doing this or doing that.
Yeah. You've obviously spoken to your parents about this, right?
I actually haven't. My parents know what I do, but I'm not on the phone to them every day going, oh, you know, I just got DP'd, I'm 17 guys today, or this and that. They don't need to know the logistics.
Of course.
I do feel a little bit like embarrassed being like, Mom and Dad, I'm 100 guys.
Why?
I guess because it's not really what my parents would have wanted me to do. Doesn't mean to say my parents are like going to disown me or hate me or anything like that. I just don't want them to think less of me, you know? Like we can still be like very close and stuff like that, but I just don't think they need to know like exactly every single detail.
Yeah. But they'll find out, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. This is the thing, I think, with like my like career and stuff like that. We're not sat here talking about, oh, I filmed this with us today, or, you know, I filmed this, because there's just no need.
It's so important to have parents in your life because as children, we're born to wander off. We're born to rebel somewhat, one way or another. We're destined to kind of go off the rails every now and then, especially in our adolescence. As we find our way through life, we want to test and try a little bit of something, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of everything, but only if it doesn't leave us with nothing. And that's the job of parents. Good parents will protect you. They'll cater to you. They will guide you. They will protect you from yourselves when you go too far, and they will guide you in times when you get lost. And what I've realized over the years through my own mistakes is that tough love is what it takes to live a soft life, and that you have to be very careful and strict with your life and how you live it, and to do everything the right way as much as you can so that you can have a happy life. And anything else that falls short of that leaves you in misery. And you don't really want to be spending your life miserable and regretting every decision you've made. Regret is a slow poison that will eventually kill you.
Are there days where you second guess it ever?
Not particularly. There are days where I'm sat here on a Sunday, I am feeling a little bit more lonely. My friends have all got boyfriends, and I'm like, you know, I see a comment and people are like, God, no one's ever going to marry you, or something like that. And that can definitely like make me feel a little bit like, oh God, have I chose the wrong career? But like, I just totally love my job. But just like people talking about your body constantly, how you look, every day someone like picking at you, I think that's the hard part. And also just the pure fact that people think so much less of you.
Yeah.
Before anyone ever meets you, they already perceive you to be something. I think now I'd find it hard to make friends in terms of like real friends that really just see me for who I am and not like, gosh, like porn star online, whatever, this kind of like persona.
Yeah.
Also just like all of social media, like everyone is preying on your downfall. Banks don't allow you to bank with them. Your Instagram's trying to get shut down. Like, you know, it's just like the little things that's just like, no one likes what you do. And everyone just thinks less of you, basically.
Traumatic events in life is like a nuclear detonation. It has a half-life, and a half-life is the time it takes for the harm and impact to subdue and decrease in its value to get back to normalcy. And secondly, the fallout. The fallout is the radius or the area it affects. And in this case, this is equivalent to the people affected by this event. The fallout of this event would be the people directly affected from Lily's actions. And the half-life is how long will Lily suffer the consequences of this event? How long will her actions affect her life? Now, we know that the fallout will be her parents, her friends, her family, her future relationships. All of that will be affected directly from this, and her promiscuity and all her actions leading up to this. Because as she mentioned, she doesn't really care about what other people think of her. So she cares mainly about her family. She has her priorities right. She's just going in the wrong direction. And the half-life of this is how long will she have to suffer and deal with all of this trauma? Because we don't know. Only she does. But she's not to blame for all of this. Because to me, this wouldn't even happen in the first place if she didn't have 100 men that would allow her to do this. There's a quote I want you to remember. For evil to rise, all it takes is for good to rest. Meaning that the world would not be flooded with evil only if the good men stood up for what is right. And those who sit on the fence, they don't do nothing good neither. Being passive about everything still allows things to pass through. I mean, the modern society caters to the degradation and demasculinization of men, but fail to realize that eliminating the strong man that is willing to stand up for what is right allows the weaker men to come through and prey on vulnerable women.
One of the men participating agreed to speak with us after having spent his allotted 5 minutes with Lily. He had flown in from Switzerland just for this.
So I came last night and I'm leaving basically after. I went for the authentic experience.
Okay.
I had pie.
Pie.
Yeah,
British
in the
pie,
pub,
pie and mash.
Yeah.
Oh yes, of course, the authentic British experience. Fish and chips, London Bridge, the Big Ben, and of course, bonking Lily Phillips. How could you forget about that?
How long have you known or been a fan of Lily Phillips?
Since the beginning, I would say.
Did you ever think you'd be able to have sex with her?
No, never.
And today you did?
Yes.
Were you nervous this morning going in there?
Yes, especially when I saw all the guys, the cute.
Yeah.
And I was definitely nervous.
Were you worried that maybe some of the other guys aren't going to get an STI check? Or?
A little bit, but also I think the risk for the guys is maybe less high than for her. This has to be the most expensive shag ever.
Really?
Yeah.
How much?
200 to get tested, 250 for the flight, maybe 800.
£800 and worth it?
Yes, without a doubt.
Having had their IDs checked and release forms signed in order to allow publication on OnlyFans, 6 men sat anxiously on a sofa waiting for their turn to have sex with Lily.
Yeah, I came last night, yeah.
I came to last night after work.
Oh, guys, we are running behind.
Got in at 6 o'clock this morning.
Oh my God.
I mean, this one's extremely skimpy, so I'm sure he'll like that.
Okay, well, good luck.
Thank you.
All the best. Are you? Is it that you're going to get him to eat his own semen?
Yeah.
Okay. So okay.
You ready to be my pathetic little loser for the next 3 minutes? Well done, thanks for being my loser. Bye.
We always want what we can't get until we get it and realize it's not all what it's cracked up to be. That it was way better as an idea than it is as a reality. Because nothing's going to hit you as hard as a good old-fashioned reality check. And sometimes really that's all we need. Someone to just tell us like, yo, you gotta get yourself right. That you gotta check yourself before you wreck yourself. And none of us would really know this better than someone who is in the industry. Someone who's been there, done that, and is suffering the consequences right now. So let's take a deeper look so we can have a clearer understanding of how it affects the mental health coming from someone that is within the same industry.
I thought it might be helpful to hear the perspective of another OnlyFans creator, so I reached out to Alex Letitia, also known as the Queen of Southampton.
Basically, I went into OnlyFans because we were really, really broke. It was really last resort. I had never, ever sent anyone a nude prior to this ever in my life. So I was so naive going into it. I started off just doing bikini pictures and lingerie, but it is a slippery slope and the demand is more. Before you know it, you're having sex on camera.
And is that something you regret?
There's a lot I regret on there.
Do you feel scared that you might ever have to start doing things you don't want to do in order to keep that money coming in?
It is scary, yeah, because people are starting to do the most outrageous things online. I've seen so much of it lately, and I think my daughter's already getting stick for what I do. And like I said, I don't really do anything controversial compared to all these other girls. And it just keeps being like leveled up and up and up of the expectations.
Well, on Saturday, I'm going to another OnlyFans creator, Lily Phillips, is planning to sleep with 100 men in a single day for OnlyFans content. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's really sad. I just worry about her mental health. I'm hoping it's a hoax and it's not gonna actually happen. I don't know. From what I've seen of her, I think she's like young and beautiful. I don't think she has to sleep with 100 guys in one day for attention. I don't know. It's like medically, is she going to be in a lot of pain? Mentally, you're going to be known as the girl that shot 100 guys in one day, and I think that's really sad. The problem is that when you sign up to objectifying yourself, it's like you're signing a deal with the devil. Like no one is going to see you as a human being. It gets to the point where everyone objectifies you. That's the reality of it. You're like the cash cow.
Do you think the kind of thing Lily's doing this weekend is the future of OnlyFans?
I hope it isn't, but we keep seeing so many sort of outrageous stunts. Maybe people assume they have to do that in order to get attention and followers. So it is just going to have to get more outrageous, which is quite scary if you think about it.
As she announced to her fans that in February of 2025, she would be sleeping with 1,000 men in a single day to break the world record.
Last week I did 101 guys. Now this was just the warm-up, because in February I'm going to be the first person ever to reach 4 digits of guys all in one day. Yes, 1,000 guys.
Maybe what we witnessed that night was just someone overwhelmed with emotion after completing such a monumental challenge. Or maybe we saw the true toll this career can have on a person.